On this episode of Project Hemi Mag, we take care of a leaking radiator cap, try to make these 20-inch SRT wheels look somewhat presentable, deal with a couple other little things, and then we'll have an update on the project status. Tune in. Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project Hemi Mag. On this episode, we indeed are going to take care of yet another coolant issue. The radiator cap appears to be leaking, which seems pretty cut and dry, but they are a little hard to find for some reason. So we'll go over that, how to find it, what the part number is, and how to replace it. We're also going to address these 20-inch SRT wheels. They have had a few interactions with curbs over the past few years, I'd say. Some pretty severe interactions, so we're going to go ahead, clean those up as best we can. I think the 20-inch wheels really set the SRT8 model off from the rest of the Magnum lineup, so we want to retain those, keep them looking nice. So we're going to work those over, and then at the end, we're going to do a little project update, see where we stand, see how amazing this awesome Hemi-powered wagon's been working for me. Spoiler alert, it's been amazing. It's been a very awesome car to be driving. Let's go ahead and get in the garage and get some work done. So after all the coolant stuff we did, refilling the coolant system and doing the thermostat, I noticed the coolant fill cap on the overfill tank over here was leaking pretty bad. So I took that off and inspected the gasket underneath, because that's usually what happens. And you can see the rubber is completely just degraded down to nothing. No wonder it was leaking. It's always a good idea to check these radiator caps every once in a while, but yeah, look at that. No wonder it wasn't holding coolant. Now the new design is completely different looking. These are both Mopar official parts. I could not find this style anymore, but the new one fits perfectly, and as you can see is in great condition. So this is the replacement part. Fits wonderfully, no more coolant leak. Here's the part number for anyone interested in replacing their radiator cap on the Magnum SRT8. Time to get these 20-inch SRT wheels looking great on the Magnum. So the biggest issue, other than needing a big cleaning, obviously, is there's quite a bit of curb rash. Come up around here on the passenger rear tire, you can see quite a bit of pretty heavy, I mean some of these are very deep gouges right through here. And it pretty much goes around the whole, that's not just paint peeling guys, that's ground off. That's really bad right there. So, I mean, it's almost the whole rim. The front wheel is definitely worse. Let's go ahead and try to recondition this using the Dremel. We can probably grind this down, make it a little smoother, and then see where we're at. It's just really rough. And you don't want to have to paint wheels like this. I think they look cool in this finish, this kind of silver with chrome, and kind of matches the personality of the Magnum, so let's get on it. Hopefully we can make them look a little better. To get into some of my logic of what you guys are seeing me do here, is we're using that Dremel and the sanding stone to really take the rough edges out. When you curb a wheel, you get these really huge grooves and nicks into the outer edge of the wheel here. So you gotta knock all that down, and if you're trying to do it by hand, you just can't. So use something like a Dremel, grind that down. Now it's not gonna look pretty right now, but we're gonna walk it back after we get all the surface as smooth as possible and hit it with 1,000, then 2,000 grit sandpaper and bring that shine back and really restore it to a pretty good condition, hopefully. You have to, the first step, you do have to knock down all those ridges, because no matter what, if you leave those and you start sanding by hand, you can make the ridges shiny, but the little recesses, the little valleys between them will still be gouged up and darker, and it will just look horrible. So keep grinding like we're grinding. I mean, it seems like you gotta destroy it to fix it. It's definitely one of those scenarios. So keep going, grind it all down, get it nice and smooth to your touch. Use your fingers, it's a good judge on this, and make sure it's nice and smooth, and then we'll work our way out with sandpaper. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it does look a ton better. So yeah, the wheel does have some imperfections in it, of course. I need to clean it up a little better too, but it looks a lot better around these edges. So kind of blended that in as best I could with all the sandpaper. Yeah, not bad for wheels that have gone 130 something thousand miles. So much better, you can almost not detect the curb rash. Loving it. Cool, not bad. Every little touch, right guys? Welcome back to inside the Magnum SRT8. I've got my trusty scan tool in my hand. So I had to replace all 4 O2 sensors, which you'll remember. Also had to drive the car quite a fair distance because I had to remove the battery also. That was dead. So replacing the battery, you have to go through the IM readiness checks with this car. And it's pretty serious. You have to put a lot of miles, put a lot of different driving parameters in before they actually reset, especially the O2 sensors and the evap system. So got that ready, and guess what? Our code came back. Our P0420 still exists, which means the problem, unfortunately, is with our catalytic converter that's in bank 1. Oh, it's a bummer. It's a serious bummer. I was hoping the O2 sensors were going to clear that code up. They did look pretty worn, so it's probably not a bad idea those were replaced. But now we have to replace the catalytic converter. That is the driver's side. I'll do both because we don't take shortcuts in the Auto Obsessive Garage, do we? No, we don't. So we'll replace both of those. The only issue is the current situation in the world, right? The coronavirus pandemic pretty much has shut down all non-essential businesses. Unfortunately for me, I like to do a lot of stuff in-house, but I just don't have a welding setup. I don't have a lift to easily, access an exhaust system to cut or weld something new in. And I live in California, which is very smog serious. So you got to put the right catalytic converter in. I can't just get a universal like MagnaFlow online and hope that works. So I want to do everything legit, so I go to a local muffler shop, which I always like to support my local businesses. I had to do it with the Escort GT when that wouldn't pass smog, so it's going to be the same situation here. Probably going to be a little pricey, but with all the shops being shut down, we are at an impasse on Project Hemi Mag. So we're going to have to go ahead and sideline this project for a while. I'll keep driving it because it's amazing. Traffic has been very easy to live with lately, which makes driving a 425 horsepower wagon that much more fun on the highways. And the car is amazing. It drives so well. I'll get into it when I do the review later on, but what a fantastic car. So we're not giving up. We just need to have a little pause here. We also want to do some body work, some paint work, and I outsourced that to a local body shop too. So we're going to put the Project Hemi Mag project on pause for now, guys. But don't be worried. I've got a couple projects kicking around the garage. So we'll start something new next week. Be sure to tune in then. It's going to be a good time. Don't worry, Project Hemi Mag will be back in the near future. Thanks for tuning in as always, guys. Stay safe out there, look out for each other, and we'll see you next time inside the Auto Obsessive Garage.